Hey everybody, this is Moose Interviews, and again today we have another interview, or this is our seventh one. So for people who don't know who you are, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, guys. My name is SwagWave. Stop motions, I'm an animator on YouTube. I do like Marvel and Transformer stuff. I've been doing it for a couple of years now.
Mm. So I say it's our seventh one because it's just like I've done interviews before in the past, and I've been doing it for quite some time, and it's just like people like you that give me the time of day to just do them. It's just like I appreciate it a lot. So I just thank you again, SwagWave, for coming on to the show and just letting me interview you, man. I really do appreciate it.
No, yeah, no worries. I I just started that business email because of things like this. With like, I was like, oh, maybe people want to collab or something. How are they gonna reach out to me? I didn't really have an email for my like YouTube business from before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's cool that we were able to connect.
Okay. So, and my first question is just like what kind of what got you into doing stop motion animation in the first place?
Uh, Honestly, I was just bored one summer, and I'm YouTubing, playing, loafing around the house. I stumbled on Counter 656. He's a popular stop motion animator,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw his work. I'm like, whoa, what is this? Like, are these action figures moving? Like, I never saw it. It just blew my mind. I'm like, wait a minute. So I started looking around YouTube and looking at other stop motion animators. I'm like, oh damn, this is really cool. Like, I feel like I can do this. Like, all I gotta do is get a camera and like some figures. So literally, I started that summer. It was like 5 years ago. I had my iPod Touch, and like I had like a little figure of like an Iron Man I had, and I just started taking pictures, and
Mm-hmm. So there's
I had fun with it.
there's also like a lot of people what they like about your stop motions that you do many types of different ones. Like you have variety over the years, like from doing Marvel to Transformers to one of your recent ones for like one of your Halloween specials was your Marvel Zombies, and then like recently your Godzilla War Tour and your Guardians of the Galaxy. So like for example, your Dragon Ball Z ones, a lot of people, your most popular one is your Super Saiyan God Blue versus
Oh
like
yeah,
Golden, Frieza, Broly, and Cell. So like,
so good.
was it like what made you want to do a battle royale fight like that? What like did something? What inspired you to make that?
Uh, so literally, I'm a fan of pop culture. So everything you mentioned, I'm a fan of. So like, I know the material. I read Marvel comics. I'm a Transformers fan. I watch anime. So that's why I do like varied videos on my channel. So I don't just stick to Marvel. I like a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely,
So
I
that
get it.
Dragon Ball Z one, I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan, and the reason I never did one before was because whenever I thought of Dragon Ball Z, I thought of Counter 656 and all those like super effects, and I'm like, damn, if I want to do a Dragon Ball Z stop motion, I gotta make sure I do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to do it when I was starting off because I was still like I felt like an amateur still. But at that point, I was like, right, you know what? I think I feel ready to tackle a Dragon Ball Z video and make it right. So I was just like, damn, man, and it's gonna be my think like an anniversary thing. It's gonna be like New Year's. I'm like, oh, it has to be really special. Like, start off the year with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna catch people's attention? Like, I was just like, wait a minute, this is crazy. But I just put Super Saiyan Blue, Goku with like all these dudes, like the strongest enemies, just all at once. People are just gonna lose their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse the language. I was just like, damn, I gotta do this. All right, and then my
Did
good
you
friend, and
mm,
he's one of my he's a good friend and
mhm.
a voice actor I worked with for a long time. He was like, yeah, man, I have a bunch of dudes who like are really good at doing the Dragon Ball voices. Let's just do this, and yeah, that's where it came out.
Did you expect it to get as popular as it did?
I mean, I knew it was gonna be a hit, like meaning like for me it was like, oh yeah, like a 50,000 views, it'll be like a nice good hit, because I mean it's Dragon Ball Z. It's like it's a popular top stop motion top like search category.
Mm-hmm.
Plus it's just crazy golden, like the battle royale. Like, oh like people see that video like, oh, what's going on here? I gotta click on this.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't know it was going to be like as popular as it was. So I was actually surprised, especially to the point to like a month afterwards. Bacon sent me a link like, "Yo, the voice actor for Frieza, he saw the video and like commented it on his Twitter."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, whoa!" That's when I realized, damn, we got to keep doing more Dragon Ball videos. People like it.
Are there any more that you're planning to make at the moment?
Oh yeah, man. So I know in Dragon Ball Super the whole Goku Black arc finished, and everyone was like left with a huge impression of like, oh, we want to see more Blue Vegito.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm gonna say. Fusion City, Blue Vegito Blue versus a mystery character still in the works.
Are there any more like anime-based stop motions? That since you said you're a fan of like different things like anime, so are there any other anime stop motion you're working on, or one that you like to make, or something like that?
One that I would like to make, it would be a Naruto one.
Naruto, okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Naruto, and I've collected a couple of the figures, but I'm still like thinking of whether I want to do like my own thing or maybe just reenact something from the actual series. So it's still like brainstorming up here, but. If it were to be a Naruto one, I would have to be Kakashi in it because Kakashi's my character.
So like my another question is so like you and I had an interview with Oreo Bacon, and he said you two have been collaborating for a very long time, and a lot of people ask is and a lot of people, since I interviewed him, they want to know from your end, like what is that like from like you do the animation, he'll do the effects, like what is that like how does that like work, how does that I guess that partnership, what is that like between two people that are like the same things but they're two different things? So like say for your Guardians of the Galaxy video, that had to have like which that was really good, by the way. So like that had to have a lot of like effects and different sound effects and etc. So like how would that what would that go down? Like what's the plan to be like, okay, this is what it's gonna look like, this is what this so and so forth. Also, for example, your Doctor Strange video. So like what would that be like?
Well, I mean, first, before any of this can happen, I feel like people that you're working with have to be compatible, and it's just very special and unique that me and Orbital Bacon have we're on the same like side of the coin when it comes to like feel and like our likeness to like what should this look like, and especially in effect, we have the same taste of flavor and editing. So whenever for example, if I were to, we all do everything online. People can live in one state and work in another state all through online. So it's just like, yeah, we have our own like Google Drive. We have like our weekly Skype meetings. We catch up on these things. We're constantly in communication. When I write scripts, I usually like embed in the script like what kind of effects gonna come out or like what visuals gonna be appearing, and I mean, half time Jason actually like literally knows what I mean. Like we're like in sync. So if he reads this, he can actually bring it to life just like as if I would have wanted. So that's how crazy like we're in sync. But sometimes, yeah, we open a script up on Google Chat, and then we're just like, yeah, this part of the scene, I want this to come out, and it's gonna be like an explosion. It's gonna be like an effect right here. So then, yeah, we it's definitely a lot of communication, and like I said, we're on the same channel when it comes to taste.
So like, is there any, are there any any other stop motions you're working on at the moment? Like recently with your like you said, you want to make more like anime stuff, like for Vegeta Blue, or like maybe like a part 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So like, is there, or like I remember with Orville Bacon, like you two were probably gonna do another part 2 for your Godzilla. So, so is there any more stop motions that you two are gonna be working on at the moment that you can tell us about?
You see, so we actually have like no shortage of ideas. It's top secret, but we actually our calendar's already mapped out till 2018. So we know we have an agenda and we have a schedule. that we've been mapping out for all the different like franchises, if you will, like of all like Marvel videos, Transformer videos, Godzilla, Dragon Ball, Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
We have it all mapped out, and currently, I mean, I think we've been this year's been our year because we've been at our most productive. We're just like both of our creative juices are just like at a max, and we're just like busting these videos out.
Mm-hmm.
We have like 5 videos already done, like they're on the bench just waiting to be like, all right, this video's next.
Mm-hmm.
Like this morning before you called, I finished up a how to say it? We're working on Predator.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
So this morning, I just literally wrapped up that video. I finished all the filming, and I started filming Transformers last night video, like
Mm-hmm.
this morning before your call.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're just constantly pumping these out. But in terms of Godzilla, yes, we're doing a part 2. It's gonna be like a whole miniseries, so it'll be like at least 5-6 parts.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians, there's definitely a sequel to that one. That's like in the same continuity to the rest of the Marvel stories that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I mean, everyone's always asking, "Are you doing Infinity War?" Yeah, of course, we're doing Infinity War. It's no brainer.
Are you gonna do like any more well, I guess you just answered my question because I was about to ask, is there any more to your Civil War story that you did? Because you did your Secret Avengers, and I saw you're gonna do like another follow up to that. So like,
yeah, like so right now we're just kind of like planting the seeds for like the multiple storylines that are gonna cross paths in Infinity War. 'Cause obviously, Infinity War ties in everybody. We're gonna bring in everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Cap's team, Iron Man's team, like X-Men, the Guardians. We're gonna tie everybody into this.
Mm-hmm.
But that storyline, that's one of me and Jay, Orbital Bacon's favorite storylines. The one that we did, Civil War one, we really liked how that ended up.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, we're definitely gonna keep exploring what's happening with them, what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that the next video that like directly picks up like the aftermath will be a Mighty Avengers. So Iron Man's team, like on his side of like what the legit government sponsored Avengers are doing.
That's really interesting. That's really cool. That sounds really cool. So like, what got you into collecting and because the big thing, I guess the meat and potatoes of a stop motion is your action figure collection. So what got you into collecting action figures?
No, so the first thing I fell in love with was Transformers. As a kid, I was like a young kid, and I was 90s baby, so Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars was my show. So I remember every time my dad would be like, "Yo, so whenever you get an A or 100% on your test, we're gonna go out and get you a Transformer." I'm like, "Oh, let's do this."
That was your motivation?
Yeah, that's my motivation. Yeah, let's get these A's, then get that Cheetor and Optimus Primal. So like, yeah, I started off collecting Beast Wars, Transformers Beast Wars.
It was kind of similar with in my household. Like, whenever I get a good grade on a test, like I was more of a Marvel DC fan. So like when I grew up with DC Universe Classics or Marvel Legends. So when I'm like, oh, you get a good grade on this, you get you Marvel Legends. I'm like, okay, that's all you had to say. So I totally get it.
I collected Transformers all the way up until like middle school, even high school. Like I still just kept buying them, like Transformers Energon, Armada, Cybertron, everything.
And
then in middle school, I started reading comics like the Ultimate Spider-Man. Those were my favorite ones at the time. Those were the only ones I read at the time. Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yes. I don't.
I have the game.
I know. I barely meet people that even know what that game is. That's so cool. Like
Beat Venom is just the best.
I know, right?
Eating people, like what the hell?
I know. Like Ultimate Spider-Man was one of the first Spider-Man comics I like, the animated series from the 90s, and then the Ultimate Spider-Man like got me into Spider-Man in the first place. And then I remember watching Spider-Man 2 and then playing Spider-Man 2 for the first time. And this just really got me into the universe. And it's just like, yeah, so it's rarely I meet anybody that like really knows about the comic books or the game for that matter. So that I don't know why it's refreshing to hear that. So
That's awesome. No, that's definitely something important to me too, especially when I write and make new stories. It's always important for me to know the material.
well, have you
And
thought about doing like a an Ultimate Spider-Man stop motion, since now like Marvel Legends or have done some Ultimate Spider-Man figures, and they recently did their Ultimate Spider-Man 2-pack with Spider-Man and Vulture. So have you like
so we actually already have two Spider-Man spin-off videos already, like the Spider-Gwen and the Superior Spider-Man.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you saw that one, but it's like a little Easter egg hinting toward the Spider-Verse.
Oh. Oh, that's
So
cool. I
we're
did
definitely
I did notice that. I haven't watched those in a while, so I have to go back and see it. But that's
the Spider Gwen is just that's like its own thing,
mm-hmm.
but the Superior Spider Man versus Vulture, there's like a definite Easter egg at the end for the
Okay.
Spider Verse.
Okay.
And people, the two videos, people actually three videos that people are always bugging me about in the comments, like when are you gonna do Transformers Prime Legacy? When are
Mm-hmm.
you gonna do Infinity War? And when is Spider Verse gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
So that's yeah. We're definitely gonna do another for around Spider-Man Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna release another Spider-Man video.
Mm-hmm.
Not Spider-Man like the main universe Spider-Man, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
be Ultimate Spider-Man,
Okay. That sounds really interesting.
as in Miles Morales.
Nice. Nice. Can you tell us like who he's is, because we know he's gonna be facing somebody. Can you tell us who it is?
Yeah. We're doing so since we're introducing this topic of like well in my stop videos we start introducing the topic of like different universes and hopping to different universes.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't only know, but the Marvel Zombies video, that's part of the continuity, just in a different universe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just like in the comics, that happened, it's part of it happened in a different
Mm-hmm.
universe.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, he's traveling to different universes. The whole
Yeah.
Spider-Verse
Yeah.
thing, that's all the Spider-Men, like, collaborating from all the universes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's a really interesting way to think about that. That's really cool. I've actually wanted to do something similar, which people have been like, cause on my animation, cause I'm working on a Logan stop motion. I'm doing like a Civil War thing, and a lot of people. I know I got some comments saying, "Well, is the Logan connected to Civil War?" And I said, "In a way, yes." And the reason of that is there's in Civil War because Wolverine's in that story, and in a way it's connected because I'm gonna do something similar with my version of Infinity War where aren't enough Avengers in the end of my Civil War, so they have to have different versions of the Avengers from different universes come together and face Thanos, and then Thanos have to get some other people from different universes, which I won't say. So that's
nice.
kind of my own spin on that.
All
So
right, cool.
no.
Yeah, it's going to be Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales versus Mysterio.
Mhm.
It'll be the main 316, 36, whatever the main universe is.
616 first.
616, there you go.
Mhm.
It'll be the 616 Mysterio hopping into the Ultimate Universe.
Mhm.
And yeah, they're going to collide there.
So like for anybody who wants to do stop motions and like looks at you and your channel as an inspiration and like use that as a basis for motivation, can you give any of those people any advice or anything like that, so they've been like either like someone who's thinking I want to do that, I want to like what you did, you were bored one summer and just made just start taking pictures of one of the Iron Man figures that you did. So like, do you have any advice about stop motion?
Yes. I have two. Don't be afraid to be creative and do something out of the ordinary. Because usually, when you experiment, something beautiful can happen, and then people are gonna be like, "Whoa, that's awesome!" And then they're gonna try to. Then you'll start something, and people are gonna be wanting to do just what you did. And then second, story is important.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have to have a script all planned out before you animate. That's what I do because I know there's animators just animate like off the fly and they even write anything, and then I feel like the story is a main part of what makes the stop motion good. Just like it can captivate the audience, keep their attention. I mean, not just like figures like punching each other, but like what's going on. So make sure, yeah, write a script, animate it. Don't not the other way around.
I agree. I remember, and I will say this as someone who started animation just a few years ago. I did the same thing when I was around 14, and which wasn't that long ago since I'm 18 now. But I used to like animate on the fly, or I had an idea, or like I did like mostly recreation stuff like from trailers or movies. But when I wanted to do my own thing, I just animate on the fly without. I had a concept, but didn't really have a script. So just definitely, and I'm speaking to the audience at the moment. That definitely do what he said. Right? Like have at least a script planned out, like something that's small. If it's just gonna be two people fighting each other, have like an idea of what it's gonna look like. Like type it down, write it down. So you,
yeah, when I started like messing around with Iron Man that summer, that's what I did. I just started animating on the fly. But it'll if you have the inspiration to start animating, instead of animating, just go type it up. Type it up, and then like kind of build it into a story of where like what this is gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. That way the audience doesn't get lost. Like, whoa, what's going on? Whoa, they're just punching each other all of a sudden. What's going? Whoa, you know. So, so definitely don't be afraid to be creative and try something new. That's like not seen before, out of the ordinary. And yeah, definitely have a story.
So it's okay. So, my last question is so as an animator slash writer, and you're like multi talented and you put so much effort into doing all this stuff and putting like doing all these different universes and to your stop motion. Uh, so like for example, you said like for Infinity War and Spider Verse, and like for so like I guess I'm gonna do something small here. Is like for your Transformers videos. Is that something gonna for like Combiner Wars? Is that gonna lead to something big in the long run?
So specifically for Combiner Wars?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start little by little, so we can just know.
Okay. Yeah, Combiner Wars. It started that project, that whole series started off as just like, oh, let's just do like a fun like 1v1 match, and then after the second one, it was like, wait a minute, this starting to flow into a story. Let's develop it more. And that's why like in episode 3 and onward, there's more story and like everything's more connected. So yeah, it's definitely been building up to a finale, which is the next episode. And since it's Combiner Wars, we have to end on Combiner Wars, like combiners fighting. It's going to be more than two. It's going to be like a battle royale kind of thing. And I already have the special guest villain that people won't see coming.
Did you use like any inspiration? Did you use any inspiration since you're a Transformers fan? Any inspiration from like different series or from animated television or anything like that to make Combiner Wars happen?
For Combiner War, for anything Transformers, I always get inspiration from the Transformers Prime series and the Michael Bay movies. I like the story and like how story flows in the Prime stuff, some of the action. And Michael Bay is just like, I like his camera work with the action, even though like movies are sometimes not that good, but like I will say he does know how to film action and good explosions.
So like,
that's right, yeah.
So like for Godzilla, since you're starting off with you do Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and it's kind of like he's going to different places around the world. So is he going to be like facing off just specifically monsters in Godzillaverse, or he's going to be facing people like King Kong or from Pacific Rim or etc. So like, is there anything is it just gonna be expanded, or it's gonna be just gonna be strictly to the Godzilla MonsterVerse?
So what we have mapped out is going to be Godzilla MonsterVerse stuff for like the main part of the miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
But we are planning like what's going to happen at the end. Like if people love them, let's keep doing them. So we do have a schedule aside for like after the main series ends,
Mm-hmm.
like with more crossover between things you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. So are you planning? I totally forgot to mention. Are you gonna plan to do any more DC related stop motions in the future?
So I'm a big Batman fan, hence why that Batman Joker. We only have two DC related videos on our channel, and it's the Batman versus Joker and Batman versus Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So those, I don't know if people know, but those are actually still in the same continuity. It's like to say follows the same story.
Mm-hmm.
But Batman, he's on the run or whatever. He killed the Joker, and then Superman video, Superman's gonna bring him in because everyone thinks he killed the Joker, and he's going out murdering villains.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
So I definitely want to continue the Batman story, and we do have another Batman animation in the works for the end of the year. They'll continue the same thing. They'll continue the same storyline, and if Justice League hits, and me and the team feel like we want to do a Justice League, well then we'll start tying in some Easter eggs along the Batman videos to introduce the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just something that can be in the works. Might happen. Depends.
Mm-hmm. So and then my last thing is like for Infinity War, and then having all these different characters like for your Guardians of the Galaxy videos and all these different Marvel videos, and so what kind of did the Marvel movies? Is that I can tell for a few of the figures that you use, they're supposed to be based around or inspired by the films by the same name. So, did you use the movies or any specific comics or anything like that as as an inspiration to build for this whole continuity, different kind of thing?
I I do kind of I draw from both movies and the comics.
Mm-hmm.
More so the comics though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bigger fan of the comics, and I think it's more important to stay true to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the stuff I've done, yeah, like I said, I get inspiration from the comics and the movies, but I kind of make it my own. I make my own spin on it, so it's not exactly the same as the movie or the comic.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Marvel Zombies, that I drew a lot of inspiration from the comics, but I didn't exactly do what the comic did. I just made it my own.
Mm-hmm.
Its own short, and I actually liked the way that came out.
Mm-hmm. And that was a really good one, by the way. I barely say anything with Marvel Zombies, and you used it. You did I think you did very very well. Thing with Magneto, and then with the one thing I would like about I'm gonna start kissing your baths, by the way. so um, so one thing I really like about your stop motions is when you talk about with story and etc. It's interesting when a few stop motion animators really get emotion, and it really does come with the voice actors, which are very talented, by the way. So what I really like about your stop motions and if many others, it's just you really do get the emotion down. You get the sense of this is what they're feeling, this is what they're going through, etc. etc. So I gotta commend you for that, because that kind of writing is not easy. It's easy to write this is how they're gonna fight. They're angry, they're sad, but to get the certain words and have the especially the voice actors have express that emotion, and also with the stop motion, I know it's difficult. It's not the same thing as Disney animation where you can move the faces or anything. So I definitely give you big props for that, by the way. So.
No, yeah, definitely. It's a lot of props to the voice actor, the talented crew that I work with and I've worked with for the past couple of years, some good friends I've made. And yeah, like I said, this communication. Because some, like, you know, if I can communicate with someone and be like, all right, this is how I want the line, let's try it out, this is how they're feeling, let's do it. And if it's more, you know, if voice actors need some kind of direction sometimes. So in my scripts, I always make sure, like, I include, like, tidbits, like, in the parentheses, like, this is how you should say it. And I kind of, like, give, like, a little blurb of, like, how he's feeling. That way he can kind of just range how he should sound like. So, yeah, definitely a lot on the voice actors, credit to them. And as for the story stuff, yeah, that's something I feel we do very well. We world build, we're world building and setting up these characters as characters and not just a big fight scene.
So, I guess basically that's it. I do really do appreciate you coming on, man. And so, like, if anybody that want to check out SwagWave's channel, then I'll put a link in the description. Also, if you have any other social media, you can say it now. By the way, so there might be some I don't know about. So
I mean, my Instagram's okay. You know, you don't have to follow it. It's okay, but I do post, like, behind the scenes pictures on my Instagram, so just go follow at SwagWave_SM, and you'll find me.
So I'll put as his Instagram, his YouTube, and everything in the description. So definitely check out his stuff. It's definitely worth it. So definitely worth your time. So again, SwagWave, I really do appreciate it, and thank you for coming on, man. I know it's like it's early for me. I barely get up this early. so again, it's just like. I just want to say it's a pleasure because you're inspiration to me and inspiration to many. So it's just like I keep saying thank you, but it's just like I always say that to everyone. So thank you for coming on, man. So and also I gotta mention that I'm starting to bring back. I'm starting to do a podcast, which is just like a small thing where it's just me and maybe me and someone else, and it's me. It started with me and 3 people. And we're doing it every now and then, where we just talk about different topics. And I wanted to do one with Transformers, talking about with maybe current series that are in the works. That I heard there's another Transformers animated series in the works, and then with Transformers Last Night coming out, I thought you'd be down for doing like doing a topic video about that, like a podcast just talking about Transformers related things. So. It's nothing that's supposed to be scripted. It's just 2 guys talking. I think that's obviously how podcasts work. So
I don't know about podcasting either. So that sounds right. So yeah, that works.
So thank you, man. I really do appreciate it again. So it was nice talking to you.
Likewise, Moose. So I mean, yeah, whenever you want to chat or anything, just hit me up.
All right, for sure. For sure, man. Again, I appreciate it. So I'll talk to you later.
For sure. Take care, buddy.